If you raise the effing hot dog, I will kill you. Figure it out. Those words came from a man who believed one thing more than he believed in profit: that a promise made to an ordinary family was worth more than another $1 million. His name was Jim Sinegal, and this is the story of the one promise he refused to break, even when almost everyone around him thought he was wrong. The promise was simple: a quarter-pound hot dog and a soda, sold at Costco for $1.50. It was $1.50 in 1984. It is still $1.50 today. Adjusted for everything that has changed since then, that meal should cost nearly 3 times as much. It doesn't, and it never has. Every basic rule of business says that when costs go up, the price goes up. Costco broke that rule on purpose, year after year, decade after decade. Executives who studied the company from the outside couldn't explain it. Some called it reckless. Some called it a mistake somebody was too proud to fix. But this was never really about a hot dog. What Jim was protecting was something bigger, and defending it would nearly cost him the confidence of his own company. If Costco raised that price, it wouldn't just be 25 more cents. It would be proof that the promise had a limit after all, and that everything Jim built his name on could be negotiated the moment the numbers got uncomfortable. So why would one man risk that much over a $1.50 combo? To understand it, you have to go back to where he first learned what a promise was actually worth. Jim Sinegal grew up in a working-class Catholic family in Pittsburgh. His father was a coal miner and a steel worker. In that house, nothing was handed to anyone, and Jim learned early exactly how hard it was to earn $1. At 18, he was unloading mattresses off delivery trucks for $1.25 an hour at a discount store in San Diego. That is where everything changed. He met a man named Soared Price, the retailer who invented the warehouse store, and Price gave him one unshakable belief: never squeeze the customer for extra profit. A company owes something to everyone it touches, not just the people holding the stock. Sinegal never let that go. When he built Costco, he built it like a man who still remembered what it felt like to unload those mattresses. He worked at a plain folding table. He answered his own phone, so an angry customer could reach him directly instead of a secretary. On the warehouse floor, he wore a bargain rack shirt and a plastic name tag that said nothing but Jim. No title, no last name. Nothing that separated him from the people stocking the shelves. His entire contract as chief executive ran a single page. As CEO of a company worth billions, he paid himself a fraction of what his rivals paid themselves, on purpose, every single year. He wasn't protecting a hot dog. He was protecting the kind of man he'd promised himself he would never stop being. And somewhere along the way, that promise had quietly attached itself to a $1.50 meal. What nobody realized yet was how far that promise would push him, because the one force even Sinegal couldn't outstubborn was about to arrive, and it wore a suit and carried a spreadsheet. By the late 2000s, rising costs were tearing into Costco's food court. The $1.50 combo wasn't a clever gimmick anymore. It was a real bleeding wound on the balance sheet. Investors were furious. One Wall Street analyst put it bluntly: it was better to be a Costco employee or a Costco customer than a Costco shareholder. To the market, Sinegal wasn't running a company. He was running a charity with a warehouse attached. Every quarter, the same question came back louder: how much longer could this possibly last? Then it reached the one person Jim actually trusted with the truth. Craig Jelinek, Costco's president, walked in with the obvious fix: raise the combo by 25 cents. Customers wouldn't even notice. Here is where most leaders would have said yes. It was such a small number. Nobody would have blamed him. It was, by every reasonable measure, the easy choice. Jim chose the harder one. He looked at Jelinek and said the words that would define the company forever: if you raise the effing hot dog, I will kill you. Figure it out. It wasn't a joke. Jelinek confirmed the exchange himself years later, telling the story publicly in 2018. And just like that, the man who brought the obvious solution now had an impossible job instead: keep a promise that the entire business world had already declared broken. Every year, inflation made the promise harder to keep. Costco had two real choices: break the promise or rebuild the entire company around it. They chose the second one, and the cost of that choice was enormous. Costco could no longer afford its longtime hot dog supplier, Hebrew National. So instead of finding a cheaper vendor, they stopped being a customer altogether and became a manufacturer. In 2008, they built their own meat processing plant in Los Angeles just to control the price of a single hot dog down to the penny. Demand kept growing, so they built a second plant, then a third. Then something even stranger happened. In 2013, the soda became the threat. Beverage costs were eating the last cents of margin. So Costco made a decision that seemed almost unthinkable. It ended a decades-long partnership with Coca-Cola and switched its entire food court to Pepsi because it was fractionally cheaper. Factories, broken partnerships, years of rebuilding a supply chain from the ground up. All of it to protect one number that most companies would have changed without a second thought, and that almost nobody outside the company would have blamed them for changing. This is where the story usually ends for most companies. The pressure wins. The price moves. Nobody remembers a quarter that missed its target by pennies. That is not what happened here. And the reason why had nothing to do with hot dogs at all. Here is the part almost nobody saw coming. Costco barely makes money from the things on its shelves. Its markup stays razor thin across nearly everything it sells. Almost all of its real profit comes from something else entirely: the yearly fee that tens of millions of members choose to keep paying, year after year, without being forced to. Why would that many people pay just for the right to shop somewhere? Not convenience? Not selection? Trust. And Jim had already answered that question in a $1.50 meal every single day for 40 years, without ever needing to say it out loud. When a customer walks out holding that same combo, at that same price it was the year they were born, it tells them something without a single word. This company is not trying to trick you. And if they aren't squeezing you on the hot dog, maybe they aren't squeezing you on anything else in your cart either. The hot dog was never the product. It was proof. In 2012, Jim Sinegal stepped down as CEO. His successor was Craig Jelinek, the same man who once got threatened over a hot dog. Jelinek kept the promise exactly as he inherited it. In 2022, a rival chain tried to steal the spotlight, pricing its own combo lower just to undercut Costco directly. It was a direct challenge, practically daring Costco to defend its price or quietly let it go. Costco didn't move a single cent. That same year, Costco's chief financial officer was asked the question everyone still wanted answered: how long could the $1.50 combo possibly last? He didn't hedge, and he didn't reach for a number. He gave one word: forever. Costco even reversed its hardest decision. After more than a decade with Pepsi, it recently announced Coca-Cola was coming back to the food court. The price never moved. It never stayed only in America either. Shoppers in Canada pay the same $1.50. Shoppers in the United Kingdom pay £1.50. In Australia, Japan, and Taiwan, the hot dog is made of pork instead of beef to fit local taste. The price still holds. Figure it out. They did. Not by changing the promise, by changing everything else around it. The suppliers, the factories, the drink on the fountain, anything that could bend, so that one number never would. Because the hot dog was never the product. Trust was. And somewhere tonight, a family will walk out of a Costco warehouse holding that same meal, paying what people paid for it before most of them were born, never knowing how many mountains one stubborn man moved just so they never had to notice a thing. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this documentary, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this.